Привет, я Heinbach. Good to have you back. What I just played is one of the synthesizers I've been dreaming about for the longest time, the Formanta Polivoks. The Polivoks is a two-voice paraphonic analog synthesizer from the USSR. It was created by Vladimir Kuzmin, and his wife Olimpiada designed the beautiful military-looking outside. In fact, this looks a bit like a tank with tracks to the side. Why I've always wanted one of these is that they sound like nothing else, and that is due to many things. First of all, the filter. There's just so much to love about this synthesizer. The filter is one of the most screaming designs I've ever heard, and it adds to the character of the synthesizer that is very overdriven and raw. It's really hard to get a clean sound out of it. It wants to scream and excels at dark basses and leads. Because the panel is all in Cyrillic, let's go over the functions. Up top left, we've got the modulator, which is an LFO. We get triangle, square, white noise, and a sample and hold, which is a bit subtle. I don't know if that's just my unit. I don't really hear the sample and hold, except more on the output maybe. Yeah, there it works. This is, after all, a vintage instrument. I bought it not serviced, but as working and in okay order from guy sells gear in, I think, Ukraine. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but I bought it from Reverb, basically. This is the volume control for headphone and master, and here's the switch to turn the master off. And this is master pitch. And this is glissando, and glissando only works on generator 1. Because this is paraphonic, we can set it to 2 oscillators. This is very smart because now you can accompany yourself, a bass voice and a lead voice. Here should have been the faceplate reading Polivoks, but that is missing on mine sadly. But this allows us access to the tuning parameters for the generators. Tuning the synthesizer is really simple. There's even a tutorial by Vladimir Kuzmin online. I followed another one which I found a bit easier to understand, and I'll link that up here. The generators have the same waveforms and controls. And you can hear the chunky way of these switches. I really like that, even though the feeling of this is hardcore plastic. It's not like the Roland SH02, which I have sitting over there, which feels a bit more sturdy somehow. This is pretty rough, but I like it. Here is the modulation control. Classic sample and hold, blah 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 blah. This controls the FM intensity, because generator 2 can be used to modulate generator 1. It's a rather musical effect and not one designed for crazy sound effects, I feel. Generator 2 is basically the same, only it has a pitch offset. So we can go really low. If we go to the lowest note, it will start pulsing. And of course, we could use that pulse to ping the filter. Here we've got the mixes section, which is generator 1, generator 2, white noise and external input. Yes, this can process sound from external sources. Unmodded, the Polivoks uses DIN connectors, so you need an adapter from DIN to jack. Here is the envelope for the filter: attack, decay, sustain and release. And this is the frequency of the filter, and here's the resonance of the filter. And now we set it to looping. And then we can add more modulation using the modulator. This makes all kind of complex modulation possible, which is one of the reasons the synthesizer is so amazing, because we got the same setting on the envelope for attack, decay, and release and sustain for the VCA. Even though it does not have an arpeggiator, you get all these animated sequences out of that, which is another strength of the Polivoks. One thing that's a plus in any synthesizer that has it is that this has a hold modus, meaning gate open. The Polivoks feels like an instrument that would be fun to play in a band, because you get two different voices basically, somehow voices because it's just paraphonic, but that will work musically fine. And it comes in this nice road case, which is kind of sturdy, not super sturdy, but enough to lug it around. It lends itself to a lot of styles of music, especially harder music, but it can also do ambient. This one cost me about 700 euros. For a serviced one, you probably would need to pay like 1,000 or 1,100 euro, and oftentimes those come with the MIDI kit, because there's no MIDI installed here, or CV gate for that matter, which is kind of a shame. I feel this will be very useful when sequenced, because you can all these modulations that go slightly out of time and in time with a clock. That's something I really want to try. And maybe I'll try it myself and make a video on how to do that modification once I have my little workshop set up again. If you don't want to go vintage, there are 2 recreations of the Polivoks out now. I haven't tried them, so I can't comment how they sound. I am going to be covering a few more instruments from the USSR on this channel, simply because I find they're different in all these kind of ways that make them exciting for me to try out. I will be putting a pretty chunky sample pack of Polivoks sounds and loops onto the Patreon, as well as music from this episode. Thanks to everybody who supports me there. You are the reason I can keep on making these videos. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below or visit the subreddit. It's a nice community over there. That's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.